Hey folks, Jim from Slick Audio. Today I'm going to talk about a very simple subject, and that subject is collecting. Collecting gear. So if you're a drummer, collecting drums or pieces of cymbals, shall we say a gear whore in general. I collect guitars and amps, and I'm going to give you a little taste of that. So here's a word to the wise before I show you this. Be careful starting to collect because it can become an addiction real fast, and then it hits to a point where you don't have time or the resources to be able to play what you bought, and then they sit and you can look at the pictures of them because you don't even have time to pull them out of the cases to look at them. And I'm going to give you a quick case in point as I slide around this way, and this would be my actually part of my guitar collection. So as you can see, yes, I built the rack. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I did build it. But we have like too many freaking guitars, and well, there's no such thing as too many guitars to a guitar player. So now that I've said that, it turns into such an obsession. I mean, guys, what you're not seeing is there's guitars behind here, stuff behind here. I've got a room in the other room that's got guitars stuffed in there. And the shame of it is we're not talking, cheap, stupid guitars. I mean, here's a Music Man Luke 3 in tumescent signed by Steve Lukather. I don't have my freaking glasses on, so it gets hard. A Majesty, a Music Man. So this is kind of like my Music Man. There's a Blueberry, JP15, that limited edition Blueberry signed by him. This is my Warrior Draco. My God Almighty. These, by the way, this entire row is all Jacksons. All custom shops, by the way. No regular cheapy Jacksons. These are all custom shops. These are my three signature models. I mean, it gets insane. PRSs. I mean, this whole chunk here is Paul Reed Smith. These are the GNGs. There's an old Kramer there. My God. There's a custom shop Strat. Carvins. My Lato collection is here. There's Buck Dharma's guitar. The two Malone Zone guitars. I already talked about the Jacksons. Here's a Grover Jackson GJ2. Some acoustics. I'm not a big acoustic player, but I mean, Martin, Riversong, Taylor, Framus Devin Townsend model. Couple of Les Pauls. This is an Axis. Here's a Supreme. PRS2 Hollow Body 2, sorry. This is the Soars. I've got two collection Soars. There's actually more Soars over there. Two Nags. There's a Doug Rappaport and a Severn. So you see what I mean? It just turns into total obsession. Jackson double necks. There's Jacksons up here because I couldn't fit them down here. I mean, you just start to get to this point of ludicrousy. I would love to be able to play every one of these guitars again and have the time to do it. How? I honestly am to the point where it's like, I mean, I'll give you an example, guys. The two Nags guitars here, the Doug Rappaport and the Severn, I have yet to play. They're brand freaking new. The Tumescent Luke 3, I have never played it. It's in the case. It's brand freaking new. My one Taylor here, the 6, the semi acoustic electric. Fuck, I keep stepping on. I've never played that guitar ever. Jesus Mary. This is Keanu Reeves' custom shop Matrix bass. It's serial number 0000, and it's signed by Keanu. So we'll pull that out another day. That's not the time. But I mean, the shame of it is I look through here and it's like, oh man, I'd love to play this one. Here's a 1985 Jackson, first year Jackson Saturn. I just look at it and I just think to myself, my God, collecting can turn into a very dangerous thing. Very dangerous thing. So when you when you start the whole collecting thing, it's danger Will Robinson, and I can tell you right now, you're going to get to a point like this where you end up with instruments and damn lucky to have them and proud to have them, and you won't have time to touch them. So my advice, don't start it. Seriously, as cool as it is, it's not really cool because these instruments deserve to be played. Consequently, I'm selling a bunch of them, and some are going, some won't. I'm not selling them all by any stretch. I've got probably a dozen or so, and change up for sale. But it's just, it stinks that you don't have time. So be very careful when you go gear or gas, gear acquisition syndrome. So my amplifier collection you guys saw here last, it just hits low. Some jackass keeps trying to call, so I don't know who that is, but they're calling. You've got that. You've got, whether it's preamps or whether it's, interfaces, whatever. The problem is going to happen the same way. You're going to end up using one or two, and that's it. So,
Pedals.
What's that?
Pedals.
Pedals. Oh my God, guitar. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. So my fetish is rack gear. Let's step over this way a little bit so I can get the hell out of the dark room of the world. But yeah, I mean, pedals, dear God. I mean, think about it. There's guys, I'm not a big floor pedal board guy. I don't really like used pedals. My problem is rack. I at one time, I literally had 6 Axe-Fx 2s. 6. Not 1, 6. And it was like, a couple for this rig, a couple for that rig. And it was just like, it was ludicrous. I mean, one, actually did the job quite well, but I didn't have one. I had to have 6 because I might run this with that, and it could become stupid. I'm down now to 1 Axe-Fx 2, and I do have an Axe-Fx 3, and I just keep that as a standalone device. But yeah, floor pedals, my God. When you start talking, compressors, I mean, there's guys that buy compressors or distortion pedals. That's the classic. It's like, oh, this one's cool, that one's cool, that one's cool. I think I have 3, but there's guys that use, literally, that have dozens and dozens of just distortion pedals alone. Then you have modulation pedals, echo, delay, flange. I mean, I've literally heard of people having, 400 and 500 pedals to choose from. How the hell would you even know what to pick and use? Oh, this is my new favorite of the day. Well, that's cool. That one will be tomorrow. And oh, by the way, it hasn't come out yet. That's going to be the next day. I mean, at some point in time, like this stuff, like the guitars, you've got to stop and say, okay, this guitar fits me. This distortion pedal fits me. It's my sound. It's me. It's everything that embellishes the way I play from a comfort standpoint. Fits the hands, fits the playing style, has the tone, the sound that matches with your amplifiers. It really is a mix. I mean, I love my guitar rig. When I was playing out, it was for the most part I was using a Mark V, Mesa Mark V. But there were certain guitars that hated that rig. It sounded like crap. And my signature models sounded great. I used EMGs. I was an EMG guy. I am an EMG guy. And it's it really is just, it's a rabbit hole that turns into a black hole. And you will get sucked down that black hole so fast, it's pathetic. So my words of advice is, when you find your tone, just stop. Stick with it. When you find your preamps that you want, just stop. And there's a way to demo preamps, and there's a way to demo guitars. So if you're going to buy, a new guitar, my recommendation is and your least favorite guitar that you hardly ever play and sell it, and help finance the new guitar. And not only is that fiscally responsible, I'm the guy talking about fiscal responsibility, right? Not only is that fiscally responsible, but it's also responsible to the instrument. I feel I've abandoned most of these instruments, and it's not that I want to. I love them all. They're incredible guitars, but there's no frickin' time to play them. And and when I do, I'm usually picking one of my 3 Jackson Custom Shop signatures. This is the Purple Heart, this is the blue quilt, and this is the Koa. That actually is on their custom shop website right now. It's the last one that Mike Shannon made for me. I don't even know what to say other than don't go down that. Don't go down the black hole. Screw the rabbit hole. It's a black hole. So, anyways, hopefully that imparts a little bit of practical help and knowledge to those of you who haven't started collecting it, or maybe just started, and you know, again, this could apply to anything other than guitars as well. So just be careful. Question? No question? All right. I'm signing off. I'll talk to y'all in a little bit. Cheers. Be good.